Hey everyone, I'm John from Armor. As promised, here's my Turkish Getup progression video. Before we get started, there are a few things that you need. One is a kettlebell. It should be heavy enough that you can press it about 10 times. The next is an interval timer. You can get them for free on your phone from any app store. So you're going to set that interval timer for 90 seconds of work and 30 seconds of rest. For the 90 seconds of work, you want to move through each exercise as slow as possible. Generally, 5 seconds up and 5 seconds down is a really good tempo to go off of because it allows you to not only build strength, but also hypertrophy your muscle to build more. Another reason is because if you move too fast, you're kind of hiding something. Whether it's a lack of mobility in a certain joint or just a weak muscle somewhere that you didn't really realize at first. For the 30 seconds, you want to take that time, hydrate, etc. There are 6 exercises that we're going to be going over today, and I'm going to demo them all, and that way you can try them at home. The first one will be the kettlebell bridge press. After that, the quarter getup. Then the kneeling clean and press, which will progress into the kneeling clean and side press. Then the low sweep, which is very important for the Turkish Getup and where a lot of people start to have problems. And then finally the Turkish Getup itself. So let's get started with the kettlebell bridge press. To start, you're going to get on the ground, you're going to lay back, kind of like in the bottom of a sit-up, and you're going to make sure your heels are all the way to your butt. You want to start on your non-dominant side first and stay on that side for the duration of all the exercises. And when you finally hit the Turkish Getup, you'll start again on your right side. So, bridge your hips in the air, get your kettlebell in place. From here, you want to brace your chest and your lat, which help balance each other out. And with a huge exhale, you're going to slowly press the kettlebell into the sky. When you do this, you want to use the exhale to help you press more, which is another reason why we add that hip bridge in. Because by adding more muscles into this simple press, we're effectively allowing ourselves to move more weight in the same amount of time. So if you would generally think that you could only use 15, I would challenge you to safely try 20 pounds instead, depending on where your starting point is. The next is you want to think not that you're just pressing it into the sky, but think that you're trying to drive through something, because that's going to help set you up for the next exercise. The next exercise is the quarter getup. So, staying on my left side, I'm going to turn over to the right so that you can see it a little better. You're going to get back down in the same position, but now you're going to leave your right arm to lay out at a 45-degree angle from your body. You're going to get the kettlebell in place. From here, you're going to bridge your hips, drive the kettlebell into the air, and then start dropping your knees down to your right side. Start pressing the kettlebell up, and using your lat, you're going to keep it in place, and you're going to come up onto your elbow. Your goal is to try and keep your feet on the ground, and as you start to use heavier weights, it's going to become more difficult. Also remember that during the duration of this movement, you want to be moving at a 5 up and 5 down tempo. Again, the large exhale is going to allow you to contract more muscle and allow you to not only lift more, but also to just get more out of this exercise if your goal is more physique oriented. From here, we're going to move on to the kneeling clean and press. The reason why I added this is it helps you utilize your biceps and your lats, your pulling muscles, which generally are a little left out of the Turkish Getup. Not completely, but a little bit. From here, you're going to use your non-dominant leg And again, I'll be lifting with my left arm, so my left arm will pass the kettlebell through underneath my left leg. You're going to get into this modified lunge position with your dominant side down, with your dominant knee down. From here, you're going to make sure that every time you swing through your leg, your thumb is going to essentially point straight behind you. You'll then swing it up and exhale, catching it on your hip and with your oblique, and you're going to tighten this whole side of your body. From here, you'll slowly exhale again and press it up into the air. For this, you're not necessarily going to be able to use 5-5 for the swing portion, so I want you to try and move as slow as possible during that swing to help really build that control of the movement. So, let me demonstrate. So, that'll help you start utilizing more of your pulling muscles to help reinforce more of that Turkish Getup. The next is a kneeling clean and side press. The side press is a fundamental position for your Turkish Getup. This is where you'll eventually come up into this fully upright and pressed position right before you stand up in the Turkish Getup. So, to perform the clean and side press, you'll just repeat the same thing we did, but once you get to the clean position, you're actually going to lean over, place your hand on the ground, and exhale, pressing up into the air. The main thing you want to think about is when you're pressing it up into the air, you want to look at the weight the whole time. And another thing that's often neglected is you want to use your lat to press out. So as you're pressing up, you should be trying to flare your lat as much as possible. If you don't know, your lat is the muscle that runs here. So in that press position, you really want to try and push it out to get as much of your largest muscles involved. The next exercise is the low sweep. So for this, again, since we're utilizing the left side, you're going to bring your left knee up and have your right leg outstretched in front of you. From here, you can get the kettlebell ready. Press it up into the air. If you need, you can use assistance from your other arm. You're going to place your right hand outside of your right leg. For every person it's different. So some people might be comfortable right next to themselves. Some people might need their hand a little further back. It's really up to your comfort level. From here, you're going to start lifting your butt off the ground. In the beginning, it's okay to leave your heel, but as you get better, lift your whole leg off the ground. And from here, you're going to tuck it under and then come to this kneeling position. From here, you'll just lower your hand back to the ground and then swing back through. Sometimes you'll get caught. You'll slip, set the bell down, reset for a second, compose yourself. You don't want to just try and keep hammering through this because that's how you can get hurt. The Turkish Getup is a strength-based exercise, not something that's meant to be rushed through as quick as possible. Remember, if you have to move super fast, you're hiding something. So, if you need to, you can go back and then do it again. So as you can see, as you start to go through these movements, you'll start to quiver a lot more. That's because you're taking the time to actually build your muscle to be stronger, so that way you have more control over your movements. All of these previous 5 movements are leading up into the last one, the Turkish Getup. So to start, this time, I'll go on my right side again. You're going to have your left leg up in the air, your right leg down. Your left hand will be up in the air, since I'm still using my left hand. You'll press, you want your right arm out at a 45-degree angle from your body. You'll exhale basically at the end of every movement. So, from here, you'll roll up onto your elbow, onto your hand. Now we're in that low sweep position. You can shift your hand if you need to. I'm going to. From here, you'll go back and end up in that side press. And then you'll lift up into the clean and press position, and then stand up. You want to do this as slow as possible. During the movement, in order to make sure that you have enough space for your neck, you can try wiggling your neck about, and not, just throwing it about, but try making sure you have space. Otherwise, you can tell that something's not in the right position if your neck doesn't have enough movement. So from here, you'll just reverse the whole motion. You'll lower back down into a lunge. Lower down into the side press. Swing through to the low sweep. Come back down to your elbow. Roll back down. And then finally lower the bell. And that's the full Turkish Getup. If you guys have any problems at any point with any of these exercises, take a moment, pause, assess what you did. If you feel like you're not strong enough, lower the weight if you have to. Otherwise, you guys should get out there and lift something. If you guys like this video, please subscribe to my channel, Armor. Have a great night.